So Patrick Puntener, are you in the house?
I am. Hi, Paul.
How are you, Patrick? Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So we're coming into the last half an hour, Patrick, of the event, and we'll definitely be touching, of course, on the roadmap. But I thought it would be great, seeing as you've joined LiveTiles as the CTO, or you've been named as the CTO since September. So relatively recently. I thought it'd be interesting just to get a little bit of your backstory as well for our customers, to know what your journey has been up until this point of CTO at LiveTiles, and of course as founder and CEO of Cycle.
Yeah, sure. So also from my side, welcome to everybody. I'm very happy to talk to you here and to present. And yeah, a little bit my personal background. I co-founded Cycle back in 1999, so it's more than 20 years ago. And originally we were in the space of Microsoft platforms in general, and started to specialize actually on the intranet and collaboration topics in 2001, where we were the first Swiss company with an official showcase with Microsoft about or based on SharePoint. So that was really the first SharePoint project, where I was sitting in the server room of one of our best clients together with a guy from Microsoft, and actually configuring the very first version of SharePoint. It was I think a very useful solution back then. Of course, it was very, very limited, and the whole project cost the customer only 12,000 Swiss francs, which is just a couple of days of work. Sounds amazing. And yeah, since then I've been in this space. We've of course done a lot of projects for our customers. We started to develop our own products based on SharePoint. Maybe some of you might have heard about Matchpoint, which was actually globally the world's first turnkey intranet based on SharePoint. And it was pretty interesting and also funny to see that two guys on the other side of the globe had pretty much the same idea, which of course are Peter and Carl from LiveTiles, when they contacted us a little bit more than, I think it was a little bit more than 18 months ago, and told us about their story and about their plans and vision. We just noticed that they want to do the same, and they asked us if we were interested to join forces, and we were, since it was not only a fit with regards to the vision, but also a cultural fit that we noticed very quickly. And for us, it was really good coincidence to do that, because we always believe that this huge topic of the digital workplace is something that you can only succeed with if you can put all the power and all the effort in it that you have. You have to gather the strengths and combine the strength of the best people. And of course, you also need the financial power. And since LiveTiles was a very successful company listed on the ASX, we saw that there would be a lot of potential for us if we joined. Yeah,
and
that's
yeah, no, very good. No, very interesting. A lot of that is new to me as well. No, so really, really good, and thanks for sharing it. And now as CTO, it's a different role. I guess a more global role as well than it might have been with Cycle. So how are you focusing on that in terms of the next big challenges, the next big goals?
Yeah, actually, my background is I have a master's degree in microengineering, so that is also a very technical profession. And I went through very different roles in my career, from CEO to head of sales, and now to CTO. And yeah, my goal is really to now grasp this opportunity we have with LiveTiles, and to unite all our technology that we have acquired over the last 3 years, also of course with Wisdom and with Hyperfish, into one new platform. There was a vision that Carl Redenbach presented to me in our first meeting. I will talk about this vision a little bit later. It's the vision of the so-called IXP, an intelligent experience platform. And he told us, let's do this in the next 10 years. I told him, no, let's do it in the next 5 years, because otherwise we will be too slow. So that's what I'm working on now to realize this vision.
Fantastic. I like it. And as you said, we'll definitely be touching on that in this conversation, and as well, it's contained in the presentation that you recorded for us, especially for this event. As you were taking up the role of CTO, Patrick, you did some research. I'm just going to put it up on the screen here now. In terms relation to the market position of LiveTiles, I think it's quite an interesting one for our customers to see. Could you walk us through what we're looking at there on the screen, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, it's always important to see the roadmap in relation with what you achieve with it. So it's not just to have a nice list of features. I mean, that's also important, especially for those people with our customers who are responsible for the platforms. They need to know what we do and how it's aligning with their own plans. But in a little bit of bigger picture, I think it's very important also for customers to know that they go with a vendor who is really investing in his products and who also has the power to do so, because the field of the digital workplace is extremely rapidly evolving. You have new technologies, you have new topics that are actually becoming part of the digital workplace almost every couple of months. And only if you really are focused, you will be able to cope with that speed. And what we did was a little bit of research about how we are positioned also with relation to our competition, and to really make sure that we can deliver the value that we promise over time, and also the quality. And it was quite interesting to see if you compare these numbers that you see here with the average vendors. We went through reports from Gartner, from Forrester, and also Clearbox. And the average vendor, for example, as a comparison, has about 200 customers. The average size of customer is about 20K ARR per year, and not 53K. So the total revenue of an average vendor is about 4 million compared to our 58 million per year. And also quality-wise, there's a big difference. And I think for customers, it's really important to know when you decide with whom you go, that this company will be there for you over the next not only 5 years, but also 10 years, because you're going into a platform, you're investing into a platform that will stay with your company, and you want to evolve it over years. And then it's of course good to know that you can grow with us.
Fantastic. And I see there are 10 million users. That's quite incredible. What's the population of Switzerland where you're speaking to us from, Patrick?
Close to 9 million. So yeah,
so
it's a little bit.
We've more users than the population of Switzerland. That's good. It's good to know. No, that really is incredible. Incredible community. So thanks for that, because I think these are really interesting figures to be able to share. So we've cherry picked a little bit of the presentation that you've recorded. If you can walk us through it, I'll be clicking the slides here, doing my best to do it. But of course, at the core and at the center of the LiveTiles platform is the intranet hub itself. If you can walk us through that, what we're seeing on the screen here.
Yeah. So I think the one of our goals has always been to make the complex simple, right? So to be an end user in this increasingly complex space of tools, of everyday tools, I would say, because we're not even talking about the specialized tools that people use for let's say doing CRM, ERP, and other tasks in their workplace, but really the day-to-day tasks they need to do, like sending emails, communicating to others, working with others, has become increasingly complex. And we believe that only an intuitive platform can be successful, because users are not technical experts. So somewhere you have to hide this complexity that lies in all the aspects, like if you want to have a modular experience that you can extend, if you want to have something that is secure, if you want to have something that is easy to implement, maybe something that is also data driven. We have heard that vote several times before in the discussion. You have to have somewhere quite a complex backend that hides this complexity from the user, because the complexity will not go away only because you provide a simple front end. It needs to sit somewhere, and we see it as our task to take this complexity and make it very powerful and hide it from the user, so that what the user sees is easy and simple to use. And that's, of course, true not only for our intranet product, which is still the core of the LiveTiles platform. We also believe that something that we could call intranet is really the core functionality wise, but then it can be extended into other areas. And the basis is still to have a good information architecture, still to organize your data in the right way, because if you don't do that, you will probably fail to also extend it to other groups of people, like your frontline workers, to other groups of applications where you want to maybe unlock the content that is in the internet and provide it also through other tools. And also if you want to go into process digitization, because if the data is not well organized, processes probably will have a hard time to find the right data and process it. So yeah, that's talking about the intranet as a foundation. I think this
can you talk about how it's extending out here into these other three pillars as well?
Yeah, we see a first extension with LiveTiles Reach, and a second extension with LiveTiles Everywhere, which are our two other front-end pillars. And then there's the LiveTiles Quantum backend platform, which I would say is the part of the platform that makes the whole experience really intelligent. But let's look at the two extensions from the intranet. LiveTiles Reach is our employee app, and of course you could also use this as a standalone approach. We have meanwhile we have a couple of customers who don't really need a big intranet, so to speak, but they only are looking for a communications app to reach all their stuff. Especially now in the pandemic times, we had a lot of customers adopting Teams very quickly. So they kind of had a collaboration platform, but they were not sure how to reach people with directed communications and communications to everybody, not to just a group of people. That is well covered with Teams, I think. But if you look at the official communicators like corporate comms, HR, or also the management, of course, the leadership teams, local management, they need to have a channel for directed communications and also to gather feedback. And Teams is such a, Reach is such a channel that can be easily extended, or the internet can be extended with Reach to also reach people who don't have an Office 365 account, maybe who don't even have a corporate email address, and who don't have corporate devices. So because Reach only requires any kind of mobile device, it can be a private mobile phone, and it only requires any kind of email address. It can also be a private one. So especially
very quick deployment, and fits all sizes of organizations and businesses, and unites the workforce, I guess, a little bit like what we were hearing from the customer panel prior to that. And with LiveTiles Everywhere, then this looks interesting.
Yeah, our LiveTiles Everywhere is another kind of extension. It is rather on the content level, bringing the content from the intranet into other apps. We had a very interesting leadership discussion back in January this year, right before the pandemic, and then someone just asked, why is an intranet a page? Why should it be just a page in a browser? And we started thinking of this, and there already have been some ideas with the Power Panel that many of you know from Wisdom, bringing content from the internet to Teams, for example. And then we said, okay, why shouldn't we try to unlock this content and make it available directly in the work context a user actually is in? Because every time you need to switch context, you're losing time, you're getting less productive, and you need to think yourself back into your original work context, just maybe because of a simple notification you get from your intranet, and you go to the browser, read it, and then you go back. So everywhere is all about reaching the user in the actual or in the current work context, and also to actually increase the possibilities to target information also based on the application context. So not only about who are you, where are you working, what is your role, what department are you working for, the typical personalization criteria, targeting criteria that we have today, but also what app are you currently using. So what are you probably doing right now, and what information might be interesting in this context for you?
Excellent. So that really personal connection and that sort of seamless access to the digital workplace, which, by the way, in the previous poll that we've just run, was the #1 productivity requirement from our attendees. I think important part of Roadmap 21, Patrick, are your objectives. If you could walk us through those, please.
Yes, and by the way, as Paul mentioned, there will be a more comprehensive recording about the roadmap, which will deliver you detailed information about each product. We have some global objectives that we set every fiscal year that are product agnostic, so to speak. So they're overarching our 4 pillar products that you've seen before in the slide before. And for this year, we have 3 objectives. The first one is due to the fact that we, as I mentioned before, acquired 3 companies, Cycle, Wisdom, and Hyperfish, and there are some tasks of integration left to do. So we really want to provide a seamless experience across all the products that we've acquired. So there is certainly a focus now to finish these architectural changes and also integration tasks. And the second one is the ever presence of our products. So the everywhere product pillar that I've explained before goes into this topic. And the idea is here that we can deliver experiences that also go beyond the Microsoft 365 platform. So for example, what you will see during this fiscal year, which ends in next June, will be apps for example, Slack or for Salesforce, bringing information from the internet directly into these tools. And the third topic is probably one that will accompany us also a longer period of time, but and I've heard the term before in the discussion as well, hyper-personalization. I mean, the capabilities we have today to target content are already quite good. But if you look at new technologies, also AI-driven technologies that Microsoft has announced for the Office 365 platforms, we want to leverage these to make this personalization capability even better and to reach levels of personalization that you've never seen before.
Excellent. And the timeline, I believe you can talk us through a little bit around that, what to expect in the next 12 months in terms of product launches.
Yes, we have set some important milestones for our products, for the 4 pillar products, Quantum, Reach, Internet, and Everywhere. And for each quarter, you can expect some launches of new features, new modules, or also some announcements if there are more fundamental things. So if you look at the current quarter that ends end of December, we have already launched LiveTiles Vibe, which is a new experience to capture information from users about well-being, about engagement, about alignment, for example, but also other things, as you will see shortly in a little demo I've prepared. Then Reach will be extended by a new one-to-one and group chat functionality. So if you are looking at solutions to avoid WhatsApp in your organization, this will be it, for example. We have built a lot of stuff already and will continue with this until the end of the quarter regarding the integration of Notice Board and Reach, so that you can get a seamless experience if you want to push out news from your intranet also to your frontline workers, for example. And we are just starting to develop a completely new integration service for everywhere that also will be used in other areas of our products. And maybe being mindful of time, I will not go into all details about the other quarters. You will get more information in the recording about this.
Thanks, Patrick. Can you just, it's a question we've had from customers prior to the event around the professional services work that LiveTiles does and offers. Beg your pardon, we just need to go back there a little bit, sorry. Just if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick overview of that.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's important not just to deliver a product, but solutions. And to implement these solutions, sometimes you need quite a lot of experience from diverse people who have technical experience, or you have subject matter experience in communications, for example, or also someone who can bridge the gap when it's turning around user adoption, for example. And together with our partners, we want to make sure that projects become a success. So we have internal specialists. We have quite a big team now, based mainly in Switzerland and in Denmark, but also in the US and Australia, of specialists who can help you with any aspect that you need in your project. So you see here an excerpt of our services that we offer you. And just don't hesitate to reach out for us if you're missing a skill in your project team. We probably can deliver that skill, and we are very flexible in how we work. We can work together with partners, we can work directly for customers, and we can just also fill single roles in a project. That's all possible now, since we have now built up a global professional services and support team.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned earlier Vibe, and I think you said you had a little preview demo, something never seen before, that you're going to share with us now. So I'm going to make you presenter, Patrick. You should be getting a notification, and you got that?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So
I'll leave it to you for the next couple of minutes, and looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it myself, so this is truly exclusive.
Yeah, can you see my screen already? Or?
Yes.
Very good. So just put this away. Okay. Yeah. Based on LiveTiles Vibe that I presented very, very quickly before, we have developed an idea how to make boring sales tasks fun, and how to increase the quality of your sales pipeline. I think everybody in sales knows how cumbersome it is, for example, just to update the close date of opportunities. You need to do this regularly. For each sales meeting, you should be prepared to have current dates. And also, if there are new leads coming in, sometimes it's very difficult to say whether these leads are really interesting for you as a salesperson personally, or whether you rather should pass them on. So what we designed here is an experience based on this adaptive card service called LiveTiles Vibe, that lets you actually push a quick question to a user and gather feedback. Like the example before was about well-being, like could be how do you feel, good, bad. So really short, really just a quick question with some information. And we connected Vibe to our graph, which is an ontology-based database, triple store database that can store data from various systems, and connected the graph to Salesforce to gather information about opportunities, and then push this information into little cards that we send to the user. So this experience here is based on a mobile app. So what you could do if you have 5 minutes time, or if you want to prepare quickly for your meeting, instead of going directly into Salesforce and in a cumbersome way, getting to your dashboard, then opening each opportunity separately, clicking 100 times until you have updated the close date, you simply go to the opportunities gamification application here in Vibe, and it will present you all the opportunities that you currently have, where the close date might need to be adjusted, and you can simply say, looks good, so swipe right, swipe left, like in Tinder. This should be postponed for a month, looks good, postpone, and looks good. And so you run through your opportunities in a couple of seconds, and you even get a score, how you do, and maybe some tips how you could improve your accuracy. And now this information has already been stored back into Salesforce. How is this possible? Well, what you see here is based on the adaptive cart service. So simply filling in the information from Salesforce in a cart and providing these two actions. That's it. And how do we score this? This is also a capability of the graph. We will immediately feed back the information about the activities you do in Vibe into the graph, and then calculate the score based on this and feed it back to the app again. So that's one example. That's a simple one, and the more complex one involving more of the graph, because there you will have data from various sources, is Take the Lead. It's the other version of the game. This is actually aggregating information from both Salesforce, Marketo, the website, and if you want also other systems, is calculating a fit and other parameters based on the data we have, and is giving you an impression how good this lead that is presented here actually is. You can also go in and get more details about the lead, depending on the data you have, obviously. And then you can actually decide, is this interesting for me? Yes or no? Yes, this is interesting for me. This is not. This is interesting. I'll take it. I don't want it. I pass it on. And after you've selected your leads from what's coming in, also in a matter of seconds, not half an hour, you go to Salesforce and start working with them directly. So that's a simple example of what you can do with these capabilities that we are working on.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Patrick. If you can give me back the screen now, I'll continue as well. So if customers are interested to see more of this, to see more of it, how do they get in touch with you, or how do they do that?
Well, the best is probably to contact their account manager, or whether if you work with a partner, you can also go through a partner and ask them to contact us, contact their partner managers. And we are really happy to onboard customers also in beta programs and show you these new technologies and work with you on ideas to leverage them in your organizations.
Thank you very much. So we're at the Q&A section. I'm conscious of time. There are a couple of questions. I'm just going to put one to you at the moment, Patrick, and it's a question about how can LiveTiles help a customer on their journey to a modern workplace? What have you to offer there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you look at the product portfolio we have with the 4 pillar products that you've seen in this let's say aggregated slide, I think we can offer customers to really start with any topic they want to focus on. Many customers want to start with either communications or collaboration, but you can also, depending on your maturity and your focus, you can start with different things that suits you. And then from there, we can define a roadmap together, what topics we want to cover in what time frames. And I think that's one of the USPs of LiveTiles and our platform. We are not just a provider of an intranet or an employee app. We have both, and we also have a lot more services, especially the backend services in Quantum. We didn't touch them now, but there are services other than the graph and the Vibe service, like an intelligent directory, like analytics, like bots and assistants, like a centralized notification service, like a centralized integration service that maybe make you see that there is much more to such a platform than what you see in the internet application itself. And I think it's very important to be able to grow, because you can't do everything at the same time. you have to start somewhere. We can help you to decide where to start. And then we also have a huge partner network with specialists in all kinds of areas that we can involve in such a project, of course, and helping you to get the best people for the tasks that are currently in your focus.